Hey everyone, your designers are here.
I'm Anita at Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We have tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today. So let's get started.
This is episode 175, Over the Bed Ideas. And the show notes for today's episode can be found at decoratingtipsandtricks.com/175.
The sponsor for today's episode is our dear friend Leedy at French Garden House. FrenchGardenHouse.com has the most beautiful antiques, from decor you could put over your bed to mirrors to small trinkets and even jewelry, which is so stunning. And Leedy also authors an absolutely beautiful and very informative blog. So we highly suggest that everybody heads over to FrenchGardenHouse.com and have a look at the shop as well as the blog.
Okay. Well, Yvonne, why don't you kick us off? What do you have above your bed?
Well, can I just take a step back for a second?
Yeah, sure.
And when we're looking at, there's so many different kinds of headboards and beds and configurations of where they're put. But I think what we're talking about today is finding a balance of putting something between the top of your bed and, of course, the top of your wall that hits your ceiling, and just finding something beautiful and balanced that pushes your eye up. And I'm going to start off with maybe it's nothing
I like that.
On your bed.
I love that idea.
If you have a very grand high bed, sometimes less is more.
I very much love this idea, Yvonne, and I don't think I have a bed with nothing over it, but I really like that idea. And I think this is something that Europeans do a lot more than Americans. They really are good about not overcrowding the walls with too much artwork. And so I love that. It's almost monastic looking to me. I have a room with an iron bed, and I love that look of no artwork above
nothing. Well, and here I'm sitting with 25 ideas after we say that.
Okay, and if you don't want to be in a monastery, then you can have all these ideas. No, it's so true, because also think of the purpose of the bedroom. It's a sanctuary. You don't want to have too busy and your eye darting from here to here. When I was I obviously have my own ideas and I made my notes, but I always like to poke around on the internet and see if there's something spectacular we can share or specific links we can share. And I saw some over the bed configurations that were just so busy, like gallery walls and shelves with, big giant vignettes going on. First of all, I would be afraid that something would fall on me. But I just think that that's too much, in my personal opinion, for behind the bed.
Well, it might appeal to somebody. So there you go. There's two things: a grouping and a shelf. And I think that I really think if you're going to do a grouping, that I like something that's either one large or three that just have a beautiful balance, again, between the bed and the ceiling.
Right. And I love the idea. I'm not so crazy about the idea of too much on the wall. I think I agree that it can be a little confusing looking.
Busy.
But one idea that I really like that's a lot would be the grid, where you've got quite a few, where you have a gallery wall and there's several pieces of artwork, but they're all in exactly the same frame and matting, and they look very similar. A lot of times there may be just a monochromatic look, and it can really have an elegant, unified look, and it becomes together like one piece of artwork. I've seen that done beautifully with maps and intaglios and things like that.
Well, there you go. There's another one. Let's put a map above our bed.
Right. And, sometimes they've got these wall hangings. Have you seen them? Like Restoration Hardware, maybe it's a map, but it's about a 5-foot wide piece of canvas that hangs. Have you all seen those?
Yeah.
I love that look too. I think that might be fun to have behind the bed.
I actually made a distressed map of our local area and decoupaged it out. Well, actually, I got the map and it was just done on a big piece of computer paper. And I distressed it and tea stained it and coffee stained it and ink stained it. And it looks very old. And then I stretched it and decoupaged it over a big canvas.
Wow. Now, is it up now? I don't think I've seen a picture of that.
It's in my daughter, Jackie and John's room. When she got married and I changed the decor of the room, it was all pink and sweet. And I said to Jonathan, well, what do you envision this room to be? Because you're going to share it. And he told me, and because they moved out of state, I put a picture of our state with a little teeny heart where they were. And I hung it over their bed so they remember where home is.
Oh, you're so
I love that.
The only thing I'm thinking about doing is putting a very thin black frame around it. I've not done that in maybe 6 years. So it's been up there just like it is. But I went in the last couple of times and I thought, maybe this could use a little frame. But it is a lovely look, especially that room has a beautiful, tobacco colored stained 4-poster bed. So it really works beautiful with that.
Well, and now some people, this has had mixed reviews at our farm. We've got a huge French mirror, one of those Trumeau mirrors behind our bed. You can't see the bottom of the mirror, but it's huge. I don't know. It's like 3.5 feet wide or something, and it goes up to the ceiling, and it's gray. And then I have white plates, white ironstone platters on the sides, and I like it a lot. But I think some people don't get the plates in the bedroom and the oversized mirror. But I love that look of a very oversized mirror to almost be used as a headboard behind a bed. I think it's really beautiful.
It does sound beautiful.
But you do have to be careful. I don't think you could actually use it I would be afraid to not have a headboard to protect the mirror. You know what I mean? So that someone's not actually hitting that mirror and breaking it.
Yeah, you have to be careful. We once had a very heavy vintage mirror over our bed, and I was there when the carpenter guy put it up, but I just didn't feel comfortable that it was going to stay there. And so we ultimately took that down. But it looked really great. I do love a mirror behind the bed. Oftentimes somebody has maybe a window opposite it, so you're bouncing the light all around the room. And I think Anita was asking to know in our private boudoirs what we have behind our bed. So I do have 2 mirrors, but they're the small size round mirrors. They're the Bellisol mirrors from Ballard. That's a very reasonably priced mirror, and it's pretty spectacular. It's the one, if anybody ever frequents their website or peruses their catalog, it's the one that it's round, and so it has a circle in the middle, but then it has the smaller bits of mirror around sort of on a bevel, like an inverted bevel. Yes. And so it really bounces the light beautifully. I have a big one of that and the 2 small ones. And I'm not using the big one right now, but I have 2 small ones. And then I was waiting, I need to put something in the center of those because it really calls for 3 things.
Sure.
And I was going to put a painting.
I was surprised you had just 2, quite frankly.
Well, here you go. So I left it blank with just 2 for a little while. And I have my favorite painting ever by this artist, Max Moran, in our bedroom. So I didn't want to compete with that. But I thought maybe a little painting, a little watercolor, something. But then I bought such a deal, this set of sconces from Lamps Plus, 2 of them for like $79. And they're the ones that sort of crane out a little bit and have the metal shade.
Wait a minute. What? Can I just stop you there for a second?
Yeah.
What are they sconces that go into the wall, you said?
So it's a sconce, but it doesn't have to be hardwired, which was great.
I got the same ones. Exact same ones from Lamp Plus.
Are they awesome? The ones that have the little shelf? I saw yours.
No. These are totally different.
Okay.
They're brass. And they have the little brass hat lamps.
Yep.
I mean, a little brass. I'm so excited. I can't think.
Yeah.
They
have that. Yeah.
And they fit in the wall. I got those for either side of my bed. I cannot believe that we got the same ones.
That's so funny.
Same
that
ones.
is hilarious.
And I got them to put, I was going to put them in Laura's extra room, over her little love seat, thinking maybe if she's doing her homework, hardy hard, but she's usually, on her phone or watching TV in there. And so I didn't put them up there. And then I was like, oh gosh, these are so, I can find, and I kept holding it up. Where can I put this with here? And so I thought one might look weird, but it looks great.
Now, do you have them on either side or
I
above?
just put one in the middle.
Okay.
of the bed.
Okay.
So I have a tufted headboard, and I put one in the center, and then I have these two mirrors from Ballard on either side, and it's just enough. And you turn it on. You just reach up and turn it on. It's great for reading a magazine or a book in bed, and I like the way it's obviously very 3-dimensional because it's coming out from the wall, and with all the metal and not a fabric shade or anything, it doesn't compete with my chandelier.
Yeah, because it has that brass shade. And I have, as one of my ideas, like 3 of those small task lamps that come out from the wall just across your bed also.
Such
obviously
a clean line.
on dimmers. Now, I got they haven't come in yet, so I'm so excited about it now that I know that you got it. And they have a clear cord.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, how did you handle that? I'm thinking about taking it and having it rewired in a long plastic tube, and then painting that the color of my wall.
Okay, well, what you can get at Lamps Plus. Now, this is this is about our bed, so we're a little off track, but not so
Sorry.
much.
Okay,
No, no,
it counts.
I'm saying for Anita because she was asking.
Am I saying something?
No, I just wanted to give you that. I was just being a disclaimer. I'm going a little off road here, but
I'm leaning in.
And everyone listening, you can just buy the metal tracks at Lamps
I like
Plus,
those, like the gold ones you were saying. I think that would be pretty, Yvonne.
You mean down to the floor? I was thinking like so it looks more like it floated. That's why I wanted
so it
to
just
do it.
goes in so the wire goes in it, and it's just this little sort of like a cap almost squared off, and it looks very nice and neat and tidy. And you take it as long as you need to. I mean, obviously, if you have a headboard there, you don't even have to go that far down. I had that in my other house behind the big sectional because I had sconces on either end, and I didn't want to go to the expense of the hard wiring. Or I have 2 things that in my head that I might do is I love the fabric, when the cords are fabric, like you can get from Rejuvenation. It has that really old look. Okay, so you could, but I think it might look messy. You could wrap it in some sort of like cording or something like that, and like hot glue it all the way down. But I think that might look messy. It might not turn out.
I think it's better that the cord disappears.
Yeah,
that's why I was thinking of painting it the same color as my wall.
Well, I think that would make it disappear. So yeah, I think that's definitely an option for sure.
Yeah. Or you can make one of those like ruched cord covers.
Yes.
But then again, you're like, there's my cord. Instead of like your cord disappearing. So those are 2 different ways.
Well, what I'm doing because we're redoing our bedroom. I keep saying this at every episode, and I have 3 medallion mirrors, like Venetian medallion mirrors. One's big, and then 2 are smaller. And I made them out of the plastic ceiling medallions from Lowe's.
Very impressive.
Painted it.
Oh, right. I remember those.
Yeah, and put a little mirror in it. Well, they're in my hallway, my foyer. I'm going to take them out, and I think I'm going to put them above my bed.
I think that's a great idea. I can't wait to see that
look. I like the look of 3s above the bed.
Yeah, I think that's a great look. And the other thing I really like is just one big thing above the bed. Like I was saying, the mirror, although I know some people are going to be getting in touch with us, reminding us that some people live in earthquake areas. So please do be careful with what you have on the wall and make sure it's not going to fall on anybody. But, when I worked on the Texas Flip and Move show, and I don't mean when I worked with you, Kelly, but the time before, one of the things we did was I wanted a tapestry behind the bed, but it's a very limited budget. So I found a rug that we ended up hanging above the bed, and it kind of made a cool headboard.
That could be beautiful.
So I think there's some beautiful decorative rugs, and some that are maybe some aubusance that are really so delicate you might be not wanting to walk on it anyway.
Yeah, right.
And that might be a great place to display it.
Another thing that you can use is just, this, which is very popular nowadays, especially with the tufted beds. I see it like a hand painted saying on a board or a plank or shiplap that's put above your bed that has special meaning to you.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. A special meaning to you, not something that's just is meaningless. It doesn't mean anything to you that you just grabbed because it was the right size.
Right.
Which I have done.
Well, we've all done that.
Exactly.
But I think it's a shame because then you say, why did I buy this? Probably a month later, you think, why did I get this? I don't even like it.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
My bed, I actually, and I'll link to it, but it's a big, it looks like a hand-carved plaque that's French looking. I got it from Ballard Designs. And so you can do something architectural like that, maybe a big pediment or a big plaque. And I think that's another great way to go. You don't need, you can do, if you want color, go with some artwork. But you can also, if you don't want color, you can go with a plaque like that.
Or a piece of salvage. If we're talking architecture.
That's what I'm saying, like a pediment or something.
Absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so then how about also just playing with the wall itself? So maybe you don't want to hang anything. Maybe you have a larger headboard that goes up higher, or it has a shape that isn't just squared or rectangled off. If your room sort of allows for it, if your bed is on one wall, say, and maybe there's, then the wall ends and maybe there's the door, so there's a definite beginning and ending to that wall, you could just paint that wall an accent color.
Or put wallpaper on it, or put a mural on it.
Put some wallpaper on it. Yeah, so fun. And pick up your colors.
I think that calls attention to that wall that your bed's on then.
Yes.
Yeah. So it makes it sort of, just a destination, which obviously it is. Another thing that I really love, I have never done it, and it seems a little opulent for sort of my overall look, but how about some of those ideas of draping fabric or curtain panels behind your bed? And
I have that on my list.
Oh, okay.
Oh, gorgeous.
Like a tester, like a half tester?
Like you were going to do. Anita.
Yes. That's what I'm going to do at the farm. We're doing above each bed. And so I'm very excited. I already got the pediments or the crowns, or it's not shaped like a literal crown that you would wear on your head, but I already have those on the wall. And then I'm actually putting a very gathered curtain on those that's going to be white, and then kind of a pink on each side to match the bedding. So
Pretty. Well,
that
yes,
is
I'm very
such
excited.
an elegant
yeah.
idea that has its roots in the past, and we
Yes.
see that a lot. So it just speaks of elegance to me when I see something like that.
And-
not for everybody, but if your style is like too rustic, but oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Right, but you can jazz it up depending on the fabric you
That's
use too. You could make it
exactly-
totally mid-century looking if you used a certain kind of fabric.
I think you could.
Right. I looked at a lot of these when I considered doing this, and you're right. They're in all these different fabrics. There are so many different options. And the thing is, I actually made a cornice to hold fabric. I did this behind a bed 20 years ago, and I actually made a little box, and
She's
then
so before her time.
well, what can I say? And then I put like a little dowel rod in it that I cut, and the fabric hung on that. That was the little rod, and I made these little grooves for the rod to sit in.
Smart.
Yeah.
This is when she was an engineer. See how she engineered that up? And this is when
Wow.
she was so like her creative side was being so stifled that she had to come
Yes.
home and make all these things. But hey, being an engineer paid off. Look at how you engineered that up.
Oh, that's yeah. It was fun. It was fun to do.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't it. I guess what I'm saying is I made it because there weren't many options out there. But now
Right.
there's so many, you don't have to make it yourself. That's
No,
what I'm trying
and you
to
can
say.
glue gun so many things
Yeah.
in place. I saw the cutest thing because we always research, all of us, and one of my and I'm like you, Kelly. At the end, I just go to Pinterest to see if there's anything really fun out there out of the box. I saw something I just loved. Now it would be perfect for a girl's room, or even a boy's room, or a room that's a little more modern. They had taken a curtain rod and fastened it to the ceiling, so each side to the ceiling, and then they had hung twinkle lights cascading like row after row after row,
cute.
but they did it as like a divider for their bed. What if you put it as a head, like a big display behind the headboard?
I love that idea.
That would be so
Wow.
fun. Well, but we have in Laura's room, and I actually had bought this before we even got into this house, was I was collecting a little bit of this, and it was from Decor Steals, I think. And it's now I've learned. I kept calling it a tester, but really isn't a tester. It's a corona, which
Yes.
it's like
The crown.
another name for crown. So it's one of those half. It's a half circle, right? And it's metal and it's sort of ornate, but it's black. So it's a little distressed looking. So we put, although she is in a very ornate antique bed, that was my bed. And, obviously it's somebody else's bed a long time ago because I wasn't born in the 1800s.
That is so sweet.
That has been other people's beds.
That is so sweet.
But I thought, well, maybe it's going to be too much, but she just really wanted these drapery panels on either side of her bed.
Aww.
So I got her this, and then we got linen panels, and I attached them there. And then I bought those fairy lights on the copper strands.
Yes.
So she has about 6 or 7 strands that come down on either side and sort of tuck into the gauzy fabric. And it is so pretty. And she loves to put that on. Or if she's having a sleepover, she always lights it up. And it's so special.
Sweet.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
very feminine. So I don't know if you could get away with that in a master bedroom with a man and a woman. Maybe the guy might feel a little, what's with that?
Well, but you've
But
got
for a
more
little
than
girl
what-
room, perfect.
Yeah, or a guest room. I mean, it doesn't have to be in the master bedroom.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
So, and what I learned from the research is that, as I said, I kept calling her thing a tester, but it really isn't. That's a Corona, one of those half rounds. And then the tester is from the tester beds, from way back when it was cold and you needed some drapery panels to keep your bed warm at night. That would kind of go out over your bed. Like the bed was actually created that way, not a full
So a
canopied
tester,
bed.
isn't that, wouldn't you call that like a canopy bed?
Right, but it's not so it's a tester is like a canopy bed, and then there's the half tester, which is a lot of what we're talking about, like sort of creating this drapery panel of sorts that sort of juts out a little bit. And usually I'm seeing that those are coming out maybe 24 inches, something like that. But you could simply put a rod, depending on, again, where your bed was positioned in the room, you could put a rod on one wall and a rod on the other wall. If your bed was sort of, tucked in a little bit, or even let it run over the top of a door frame, but just end the fabric behind your bed. You see what I'm saying? Like if you had to make the rod go all the way. And how simple is that? You could get a long wooden pole, and then you get those wooden closet rod hangers, and you put one on either side of your room, and then you just get a lot of drapery panels to make a really nice fullness, and you put that right behind your headboard.
Or you could just attach drapery rods to your ceiling.
Yeah, that's what I've
do
seen.
It that way.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it looks great.
I mean, unless you have like a 9 or 10 foot ceiling,
right?
That's a little bit of overkill, but that would look really pretty. I love fabric around the bed. I absolutely love that look.
It's very
here's something else that you can do. You can take a large, maybe a tobacco basket or a big round basket or a couple baskets, and put them on your wall with the bottom of the basket affixed to your wall.
Right. And I did that in one bedroom at one point. It was a long basket. It wasn't a tobacco basket, but it was a very large wicker basket, and it almost looked like a serving tray. And I thought that looked great on the wall. And here's a suggestion I have that kind of goes back to the photography. Take a picture of it. If you don't know what to put above your bed, I would go ahead and you're going to have to commit and put a nail somewhere, or maybe you have a nail on your wall, but try different things and take a picture of it. I mean, I have pictures of about 15 different things that I put above this one bed.
Great. That is such good advice.
You can look at, and you don't have to move the nail around for each picture. Just take the picture. It'll give you a good feel for whether it's going to work. And then when you decide which item works the best, then you can adjust the nail to where you end up needing to put it.
Well, and here's the other thing. Let's say you put a basket up there, or I was even thinking like an old window above your bed.
Oh, that'd be great too.
And then you could hang a really pretty wreath or something on that, or in your basket, just to give it a little bit of layering depending on your style. Yeah. Also, and you said something, Anita, trays. Like, could you imagine a plethora of beautiful sized silver trays above your bed, like sort of framing out your bed?
I think that'd be beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, plates. You gotta love plates.
Yes, of course. And and again, they used to only see plates done very symmetrically, and now it's really kind of the thing to do kind of an organic look with the plates. They don't have to be symmetrical. You can use different sizes and make kind of a swirl pattern. And I think there's so many beautiful things you can do, and I think that's a great idea.
Oh, absolutely. You could make it look like they're traveling across sprayed across the wall that your bed is on. Just make it really dramatic. How about frames? We had talked about frames in an earlier podcast, and it really got me hooked on them. Even about empty frames on top of frames.
I love that idea. Color. I think it's a great idea.
Or frames, big frames with small pictures, maybe of, if you want to put your pictures of your family in there, all black and white, all the same size. The frames can be different, but they just need to be painted the same color to bring it together.
Yeah, great idea.
I think that's so pretty. And getting back to the fabric, I can't seem to let go of that idea.
That's okay.
I might have to do that.
That's okay.
But you can, then you think, maybe someone would think, well, I don't know, just fabric. I don't, it'll look like a window, but you can hang something in front of that. Of course, you want to have it off a little bit from it so it's not pressing against the fabric. Absolutely. So you want to position that where it's sort of maybe hanging from it, or it's somehow attached to the ceiling where it's coming down a little bit, so it's not denting in the fabric, because that would look awkward.
Right.
But I love the way that looks. That's a really luscious look.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
And even if you can hang the fabric, if you would get some tabs or something, even a curtain, and you would hang it from big knobs going across.
Yeah, I think you could do that.
Yeah, that would just look so pretty as well. Just, really creative. You don't have to do the, hey, one big boring picture in the center because you don't know what else to put there.
No, and
there's
sometimes
so many
it's
options.
just really hard to find something that grabs your attention. So I was to just wait. I mean, I waited a long time and I had just had those 2 mirrors there with this big hole in the middle. And then it dawned on me, oh, this will be great. And that's when I added the sconce. Can you send me a
picture of that? Because I haven't gotten my Lamps Plus. But there were 2 sconces that came together.
Yeah, 2 together. And
I just want to see what it looks like in real life, like in your room.
Yeah. And I was even going to spray paint it. Duh.
What?
But because I was like, oh, maybe it needs to be like more of a like a brushed gold look. Mm-hmm. But no, it's more of a bronzy look. And actually, I like that better because, again, it doesn't compete with the chandelier at all.
Well, what I did in Evie's room is to take I actually went to Lowe's, or it was Home Depot. I can't remember which one, but it was the folding doors, or I don't know, I'm trying to think of how to call them. The doors for a closet that,
a bifold door?
Bifold, mm-hmm. Thank you, that are louvered. And I painted them and did a distressing with the paint and antiqued them and put 2 of those. So it's 4 panels behind Evie's bed.
Oh,
so she's got an iron bed, and then that just kind of added a little bit of height to it. And then I put a tiny, I shouldn't say tiny, but maybe like a foot tall little antique mirror that was painted white in the center of at the top of those shutters. And it's just a soft, sweet kind of antique look.
Oh, how nice. Oh, so I thought you were going to say, which is another idea, is to have a screen, one of those like trifold folding screens.
Well, you can do
put
that too.
Behind a bed as well.
Well, I've got I call it a room divider, but I do have a screen in our guest room. Actually, right now it's to the side of the bed, but I had the bed in the nook, and it was actually kind of moved. It was kind of angled more like a day bed, and then that was behind it.
Yeah.
I do
No, I
remember,
remember
that.
seeing
I do
that,
remember
yeah.
seeing that. That's lovely.
But, like you said about the shutters, you could do old shutters too. Like, if Yvonne ever got bored of hers down on the mantle, she could move
And
them up to your bedroom.
I had bought some for this one room that I didn't really like the look. So if y'all need some shutters, come get them.
And if you hang it not tall, but if you hang it long, like so it's horizontally long, that would look beautiful over a bed, because that's just about the correct size. If you're thinking about a queen size bed, now a king, well, I bet you it would work for a king too. And again, you can play with that by adding, something inside that as well, or onto that, like a wreath or, empty picture frames, or do something with a little bit of layering. The one thing that we see all the time now are those starburst mirrors. And I really am a fan of those, because I don't like, unless it's oversized, like you're saying, Anita, that's such a statement. But you have to be careful with what size mirror you're going to put. It's great to have a few of them, but it's a smaller center, and then it has weight because it has all these beautiful arms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and you just said the word a minute ago on top of the shutter is to use a wreath, but I think you could even use a wreath by itself above a bed.
Oh, yeah. As long as it's pretty hefty, I would think. Or you could do
if you've got a twin
like
bed.
3 wreaths, and your twin beds would be beautiful with that.
Right. Which also brings up, before I forget, what I did above the twin beds before I'm going to do these coronas.
My fave. This is my fave.
Right. So it's some arch pieces. I'll link to it so you'll know what I'm talking about. But there was some metal arches that went above each bed, and then I hung baby dresses of the girls, a little white baby dress on each of these frames. So there was one above each bed. So yeah,
it absolutely was so precious.
I know, really, and just
and
I'm sad.
I know. Some people were unhappy.
Well,
I think I was one of those.
You try. Hey, it's good to try new things.
No, it is good to try new things.
Yeah.
I know. And I was telling people because they were saying, well, that was my favorite. Why are you taking it down? And
it's Anita, it's just because it's so iconic.
I know.
Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
It was sweet. No, I thought it was very sweet that they were even interested enough to say something to me. It was very kind.
Yes. Wow. So, I mean, this is kind of sometimes an overlooked area. So I'm really glad we decided to put a whole episode together for this. I thought when we came up with this idea, I thought, could we talk a whole 30 minutes about this?
Really? Do you even ask that anymore?
And, I don't even, honestly, after 175 episodes, why that even passes through my head
I don't
ever?
Hey, Kelly, we could talk a half an hour on how to fold a paper in half the correct way.
Yeah. In fact, hey, next time, toilet paper holders, right?
Well, I've got some napkin rings for you. Or a Christmas tree ornament.
There you go.
You have to make something out of a toilet paper roll, Anita, to be in our club.
Not the germaphobe. Absolutely not.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I got a lot of great ideas. Obviously, I'm a little hung up on putting some fabric behind my bed, but I don't think I could possibly do that. The way ours is so funky. We had to have there's some sort of duct work or something that goes over our bed. So it had to come out, so it's actually lower than the ceiling. So it's kind of funky over there in our bedroom.
But I think that looks cozy.
It does. It's kind of very nookish.
I love that look, actually.
But that's why I couldn't do anything really oversized. But if you have a tall, even, a regular size ceiling, somebody please do this fabric idea and send me some pictures. I would love to see. We would all love to see that. So remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Hey, everybody. We want to thank you so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. And we want to make it even easier for you to listen. And it's easier if you subscribe. You just click the subscribe button on our website, www.decoratingtipsandtricks.com, or you can subscribe through Apple Podcast or any of your favorite podcast listeners. When you subscribe, DTT comes free right to you 3 days a week. So until next time.